Hello, everyone. This is Daniel, and my message to you is about future concepts and your future, and all the things of your life, and even your afterlife. But really, it's all about your life. And of course, what is more interesting than Alzheimer's? So, what is Alzheimer's really like? To the eye of the beholder, it's different than the person that is looking at them. The person that's looking at them are thinking, well, they're crazy, or the thing that they think they are, or they're thinking, well, they're just forgetting, or they're just making, or they're just thinking that they're in the past, or they're just confused. Just think of it in a different way. It's really like, in one way or another, just like if you're drunk. Alzheimer's is like you being drunk, except you're not. Your vision is not affected. For some people, it's actually your mindset for the vision. So basically, everything is very confusing. If you think one was left, you're actually going right. If you're actually thinking you're going right, you're actually going left. You're very distorted in your vision, and you think that inside is outside and that outside is inside. Or you think blurry is actually not blurry. So you're actually thinking, well, everything's very confusing. So why am I not? If I'm on bed and I'm dreaming, I think I'm not dreaming. So it's like everything is the opposite of what you think it is. Like you think your past is your future, or your future is your past, or at least you don't remember anything. So you're very confused. Everything is a haze, and once you don't remember anything, you just assume. We don't really assume anything. You're just in a very blank space, and everything's a maze. You probably don't even know in some cases what a dog is anymore. You're probably just petting something that you think is a cool animal, or maybe or in other cases in dementia, you think that your life is always reliant on, let's say, the thing of, maybe let's say if today is 2018, I would think that today would be let's say today it's 2019. I meant to say, and when you're, let's say, in 2032, you think that 2032 is 2018, and you see all these new things, but you think it's 2019. So really, in reality, your thinking is very off. Everything is a maze. Every single thing is a maze where you don't know where anything is at. You're drawing a blank on everything. You're just in a blank that you don't know what you're talking about. All things are blank. And like it's like you fill in the blank with other things, like what the room is. You think it's outside. You just keep on filling them in the blank. Now, this kind of surprised me, but this shouldn't surprise you. So what is this future thing? Then how shall we say it? If Alzheimer's is not a prevalent thing for today, if you don't really see Alzheimer's as a problem, I mean, I'm going to tell you something very frank. Back in 2014, 2015, literally 4 years ago, there were 15 people in one section for moderate to mild. There were 15 of them, and 9 for the severe. Now it's literally an average of, I would say, 13 for severe. And obviously, the funny thing is, it's like 24 for average and for moderate to an average of 23 for moderate to mild. It used to be an average of 16 and 9 for 2014, where it's like 4 years ago. There used to be blank rooms, and they would just fill in the blank rooms with other people, and they would just shuffle them around. They would not shuffle them around, but they would shuffle the rooms around with the people. They would, for every person that left that room, then another person would go into the other room that they left. And what I mean is now they have to shuffle them around all over the place, and that's very confusing to the people with Alzheimer's. It used to be that they could actually, have people all in single floors, upstairs and downstairs, without problem. Now they've added an extra hallway for people with Alzheimer's. Do you get my problem? And the main issue I'm seeing here is there's a lot more people with Alzheimer's than there used to be. I mean, it could have something to do with the baby boomers, but that does not make sense because with the baby boomers, that's like 1945, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 2005, 2015. So they're like so from 1945, they're now 70 years old. That's not really when Alzheimer's starts. Alzheimer's really starts at around 80 or 78. Late 70s to early 80s is when Alzheimer's starts to happen in your life. And even more interesting is that I am seeing more old people in the building. It's as if the people that were not born in the baby boomers, who were kids during the time of the 40s and 50s, and I would say kids and teenagers during the time of 40s and 50s, they were eating meals that were affecting them, like sodium and all that kind of stuff that were causing Alzheimer's. They were having excessive fat and all that. And especially due to the fact that they're eating processed food by that time. So, another reason is may have something to do with, the people literally putting chemicals on the ground, probably something for the plants, or maybe they're just not knowing what they're doing. So really, in reality, you're probably going to get Alzheimer's or probably heart attack or lung cancer. You're probably going to get these three problems. And another thing is, the young people, if you don't get old, might die of heroin overdose. That's if they don't stop the actual overdose problem. Why don't we just get rid of poppy? Maybe we should get rid of certain poppies that are actually causing heroin overdose. But instead of poppy, we should probably just, make it illegal to grow. Okay? So another prevalent time of, oh my goodness, 2020s to 2030s. I've said in another video what 2020s was going to be like. It's going to be a little different than I thought, but still going to be the same thing and all that. The music of the 2020s is going to be in more the lines of, you know, uh, it's going to be more in the line of no copyright sound. That's early 2020s, and that's all early 2020s and good stuff. Some of it's going to copy songs from the past, maybe as early as the 1980s. But even more interesting is there's going to be songs that are going to be really deep into rhythm and sound. Sound's going to be as deep as, the bass is going to be very deep, and it's going to be a smooth transition for every bass, and all the bass is going to have very smooth transition. It's going to have a certain sound with a treble, and treble's going to be working together with bass. The bass is going to work together with treble and all that, and unfortunately, the way things are going to go in the future, I see a lot of people being basically manipulated by the mind, by the minute, by this new music in the late 2020s and early 2030s, by this music, causing them to literally go crazy and cause a bark, more bark than bite type of war. It's going to be a what do you call that stuff? Conspiracy theory war. In the 2030s, it's going to be a conspiracy theory war because of the songs that they were placing in the late 2020s. There's going to be conspiracy theory war, and it's going to be, and this war is going to be a conspiracy of conspiracies. It's going to happen all over the world. It's not going to be World War III. It's just going to be a conspiracy of conspiracies. Then World War III will follow. I see that happening within boundaries of the new music that's going to happen maybe 2020s and 2030s. That's probably going to be the last type of music that you're going to hear. The really smooth, jazzy, wonderful music that's causing conspiracies of conspiracies. You know, the smooth sounds of the music that sounds a little like jazz, I think that's really causing people to be a conspiracy theorists themselves. Now, I'm not making conspiracy theories of myself, but I'm knowing that a lot of people that are strange in their mind have been listening to a certain type of music. And I do know it's like one of the ways of the sound is basically rap and jazz. So I see that happening. And after that, it's going to stay on like that until the world starts to end. It's finishing up, guys. And I see that the president of Iran will be a smooth kind of guy. He is going to be crude with his kind of spending. This Iranian guy who is a president, he could be the influencer of the end of the world. Not saying that he is, but this new guy is going to be a hipster, a rap lover, and a person that's going to change the laws of a lot of people in Israel. He's going to be a peace kind of guy, but in a crude way. He's going to be meant for violence and problems. In his way, he loves jazz, but he's very strange with his thoughts. He is more in tune with Buddhism than with Islam. He's gonna mix his Islam with Buddhism and a little bit of Christianity. And he's gonna attack Israel for their beliefs. And then the Antichrist law is gonna be for all religion. Religion is fallen, but not the belief in Jesus Christ. If it's all about Jesus Christ and everything is about Jesus Christ and serving others as you would serve yourself, that's the true belief that will set you free in heaven. So that's really all you need to know now. I mean, if this video goes to 2028, then that will mean that whoever is watching in 28 will know what's going on, and they will know the music that's causing a conspiracy of conspiracies. All the people that think, okay, it's like the the all-seeing eye and the masonry, all that, all that is going to be a conspiracy of conspiracies because of people that are the opposite of that, who are listening to jazz and rap. Those people are going to be really going up against the government. There's going to be fights against the government. There's going to be riots and wars. But it's not going to take as many lives as, let's say, Iraq or Iran. Maybe not even as much as Kuwait, for that matter. It's just going to be riots and war of riots. And people literally crashing a huge plane into huge buildings, including the Chrysler Tower, and even there's going to be missiles from a person that will crash into the Chrysler Tower, and even the Empire State Building. The Empire State Building is going to be attacked by a loner that is crazy with conspiracies. That's later in the war, I believe, maybe even early. Again, I don't claim to be a prophet, but this is like 10 years later, it's all going to be different. At least 10 years later, it's all going to be different. It's going to start with really loud NCM, no copyright music. It's going to start with loud, no copyright music and then it's going to end with loud jazz. It's going to be so smooth and so trebly smooth with bass and treble that you're going to be having huge problems with the entire world. I see disaster after disaster by riots and protests and government attacks. There's going to be more calling for peace until peace is no longer. So that's what's going to happen. And it should happen within 10 years. It should. But another thing is, the world may end, and the Antichrist may even come somewhere in the 2020s. And obviously, I don't know what dates that they're going to be, but the Antichrist will come between the 2020s and 2040s, maybe between 2020s and 2050s. We just don't really know. But I do know that we're coming up upon conspiracies of conspiracies. We already went past the world is going to be no longer the same anymore. The world's not going to be the same anymore after the World Trade Center attack and the attack of Washington, D.C. It was supposed to take the lives of 500,000 people. But God willing, it did not happen. Then we had 2 million people displaced in Syria. Then we'll have Iran, the president of Iran, influencing the people to attack Israel. And he's going to say horrible things about all the Israelites and all that. which I believe is starting to happen. But then the next thing is the end will come, and the end results is the first year of the end is going to be attacks after attack. The second part of the end is going to be conspiracy of conspiracies with even more further attacks. And then the last part of the end, that's going to be the part where all horrible things will happen. Because first, we have to have strange weather events. Then second, we're going to have even more strange weather events. Even stranger weather events like, let's say we've polluted the world so much that, you know, um, one day, let's say the first day of February, it's like, okay, it's like 60 degrees out. It's nice outside. But the second day, it's 20 below zero all of a sudden. That's what's happening. And then all of a sudden, we're going to have one of these days that's going to be so bad, it's going to be frying your skin off in the south. And in the north, there's going to be fires burning all over America. And then one day, we're going to have spiritual attacks so bad that we're going to say all these natural phenomena, all of that is spiritual. All these natural phenomena is actually spiritual. All the weather that is natural, it's only spiritual, nothing else. All of parts of nature is spiritual. All of energy is spiritual. So if we mess with nature, we actually mess with spirit. I mean, with all these attacks, that's got to have something to do with spirit attacks. And spiritual attacks are going to our minds. So really, it's going to start with the elect. That's going to start with the lesser elect. And then it's going to start with everyone else. And that's kind of unfortunate. So, that's just a thought of all thoughts. What's the end going to be like? What's Alzheimer's going to be like? What's the end of my life going to be like? And you never know. Anyway, I'll be done now, okay? Bye.